What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. It's been a little bit of a hiatus, Gaz. I feel like
We're
haven't
back,
done
baby. We're back. 2 weeks of shit international football, and the Villa are finally back. Come on! I'm buzzing, mate.
International. I mean, it was kind of interesting, the international break, because at least we had like a couple of players in there. It was nice to see Conser get some time, and Rashford and Rodgers was he was it's not right for him, is it? Those kind of games, like he needs to be able to turn and have space to run at teams, and he's not going to do that against Latvia.
Well, I think he did really well, mate, Rodgers. But I'm just I'm so disheartened by international football recently. I just need to try and get some love for it back.
Hopefully, hopefully the Tuchel effect will help it a little bit. It seemed a bit better, but we're not anyway. We're not
enough about that shit, mate. No one watches
talking
about England. Fuck England.
Right.
Move on.
Yeah, we're going to talk today about Preston. So it's a preview for Preston quarterfinals of the FA Cup.
Trip to Wembley on the cards. We're going Wembley.
Thoughts. Come on, guys. Give me your thoughts.
I want to go to Wembley, mate. That's my thoughts. I fully expect us to beat Preston comfortably, mate. I do. I think players have gone away and played for their national team, so should be. I don't know. There might be a bit of an international hangover. Most of our teams have been away. Like, in terms of Tillemans and Rodgers, Konza, Martinez. Like they've all been. But I'm hoping that, and I've said this before, and we've mentioned this in the past, where they quite like that playing, twice a week. So I'm hoping they're going to come back fresh. Those are the players that haven't been away on international duty, have been in Dubai, sunning it up. Asensio, he's been making me literally cream my lips or pants all over watching him. I just love this man so much. Anana looks like he's back in training. Watkins going back to training on Thursday, so we should have a fresh squad, mate. And I'm expecting Emery to field a strong team, and we should. I know it's away from home, and our form away from home has been dodgy, but I'm expecting us to win this game comfortably and book our place. And our trip to Wembley, mate, I'm going. Come on, Wembley!
Yeah. The only downside is I always hate it when we're not the underdog. I absolutely hate it when we are like, and quite clearly not the underdog either. It's not like it's kind of like a bit close. We're playing like 16th in the Premier League or something. We are playing a championship team here. We should be asserting our dominance, and we should be winning the game on paper. Obviously, that's not the way the FA Cup works, and it's not the way football works in general either. However, you would like to think quarterfinals, Emery's going to take it seriously. He's going to put out a good team, if not a really strong bench, if he has to. You'd like to think that we are going to do it. It's one leg, it's one game. Yeah, it's just our away form, mate. It's so bad that I don't feel like we can beat anyone.
If you're going on kind of what the FA Cup glory and what it means, obviously this is Preston's cup final. They will no doubt do what every team has done against us this season to frustrate us, which is park the bus and expect us to break them down and try and get a goal in the counter attack. Because if
we have the players to do that now, we have the players to do that.
But like I'm saying, if we can, Asensio should be match fit now, right? He's had 2 weeks training, heated training, whatever it's called.
Hot training. It's like hot yoga, but on the football pitch.
Get rid of training the humidity to kind of, improve those cardiovascular muscles. So I would expect us to play at a tempo that breaks them down. Let them park the bus and bus if you're not from Birmingham, and
bus
and smash a bus against the bus. It's not spelt with a Z. Yes, I know it's not spelt with a Z, but
I used to have a South African friend, some South African friends when I was in London, and they say bass, and I was like, it's not fucking fish. I was like, what about that? Fucking bus. And they'd be like, the bus. We're like, we're better than the bass.
Yeah,
Jesus. Anyway,
accents, mate, they're fantastic, aren't they? So I would expect us to kind of come at this game like this is. I said this to you last week. No, this is the start of 2 massive weeks for us. Where our season is going to be defined.
Well, it's like 15 days of crazy. Like we've got this. We've got Brighton, which is massive. We've got Forest, massive. We've got PSG away. You're then sandwiching in Southampton, and then you got PSG at home. Just like you're basically sitting there going, "We've got to win them all." Like, we're kind of sitting there going, "We have to go on a big run here." Like, I don't want to lose any of them games. All them games are so important. And then I was looking at the Premier League fixtures, and I was like, "Fucking hell!" And then we've got like Bournemouth and Chelsea, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, and City, I think. And I was like, oh my
City,
God, these are all like must-win games if we want to get like top 5, top 6.
So, mate, this is where it starts. If we get through this challenge in the next 2 weeks, right, and get through to the FA Cup semi-final and get through to the Champions League semi-final, like that league position is up for grabs. Like, but obviously it's a massive ask, because we're talking about now business end of the season, being consistent, playing with tempo.
Our squad back.
But we are arguably in the strongest position out of all the teams around us. Like it's all this buts and maybes. They've got to go out there and perform. And football is a funny old game, as they say. There's no guarantees. But God, I'm at the moment as I'm sitting on this anticipation of glory. Do you know what I mean?
It's the hope that kills you, and it's when it all
of course it is. Because
when it all ends in damp squib and we don't get anything. We lose to Preston. We go out of the Champions League and we end up 9th. Shit.
This time next week, mate, we'll just be crying on camera, going, "Oh, fuck's sake, what's the point?"
We're abandoning the channel. We're sacking it off.
The channel.
It's been a great.
All the squad's been sold.
Great 4 months.
We'll get ready for the Championship next season. Do you know what I mean? That's like it's too extremes, isn't it?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But anyway, this is actually going to be our 4th quarterfinal in the last 25 years. So if you can remember rightly, Villa Everton 2000 2-1 win.
Yeah. That was at Goodison Park. I do remember that.
Steve Stone scoring in that game.
Yeah, and Benito Carboni, I believe.
Carboni.
You know, I don't know. It seems so long ago. Like I was a youngster then, mate. I was like 21 years old, and look,
I was 11.
Back, yeah.
Mate, I was just sat there playing Zelda in my kegs. Like that's all I was doing. I was sat in my room and my TV like just blaring heat into the room, and I was just sat there sweaty mess, missing meals, playing Zelda and eating pizza.
Well, I know you'll find this hard to believe, and so will probably the people watching this. But I used to have hair, and I wasn't podgy either. And trying to fit into those 2000 kits, mate. Jesus Christ, they were massive. They were like tents and all this.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. They're all like baggy things. They were like wearing. It was like like rugby tops, isn't it? It's that kind of a vibe, wasn't it?
That LDV one, which we wore in this game at Goodison Park, mate, it was like a circus clown tent. It had like 3 stripes going down. It literally looked like you wear it. I did as a 20-year-old. It looked like I was a clown in the circus.
Well, it didn't matter if you were slightly podgy or balding then, because you wouldn't have been able to tell. So it's fine. Whereas nowadays, it's all like skin tight, elite. Although unless you're Pau Torres or Onana. They're like, I think it's because they're tall, right? And like gangly. So they have to wear like a triple XL. Yeah. So it's just like absolutely massive on them. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, you can tell by the arms, mate. If the arms are baggy, it's a
Onana particularly. And then obviously 2010.
But before we go to 2010, that 2000, mate, let's just recap on how that quarter-final and then the semis and then that horrible final against Chelsea.
Let's not talk about that that was grim. I mean, I was watching the highlight, mate. I was watching the highlights of it earlier, and I think there was one highlight. No, there's 2 highlights from us. One where Paul Merson hit this volley, which, to be fair, was a decent effort, and he kind of outside the boot, and he just kind of swerved and went a bit high wide. And then there was a header from Dion Dublin from like I don't know. Center of the box that just went nowhere. And I was like, how is that?
How significant that was, right? In the fact that it wasn't even recorded on the stats. Do you remember in the last show we did? I remember there's nothing about us having anything. It was just Chelsea stuff, and you just think, oh my God, that's depressing.
I forgot they had a goal disallowed. Before this, I was actually gonna get the lines out. I was gonna draw it over the because I tell you what, Dennis Wise was onside. He was onside. Weah was offside, but he wasn't really affecting the play. So nowadays, that would have been given as a goal.
Oh, thankfully, well, that would have been even more depressing because we'd have lost 2-0. Anyway, right.
Goals change games, guys. You never know.
Yeah, goals change games. That's very true.
Villa Reading 2010, coming back from 2-0 down at half time.
Yeah, I remember this game, mate. It was because we just lost in the Carling Cup or whatever it's called back then, and it was a bit depressing really because 2-0 down at half time, I think it was, and then we came back. 4 goals in the second half.
Carew,
he's bigger than me. Scored 2 goals in 6 minutes.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
Carew. Although hasn't he now didn't you say the other day something about?
Yeah, I'm convinced he went to jail, mate, for tax evasion, like in Norway. I'm sure. This was after what a legend. The glorious pictures of us seeing him promoted with Prince William, and Prince William's like, oh dear, John, you've let us down, mate. I know, shock horror, rich people not paying taxes, but in Norway they take that shit seriously, and he went to jail.
Yeah, so, but he scored a hat trick in the FA Cup.
Still in my eyes, mate, a Villa legend. Like,
mate, you can still be, you can do tax evasion and still be a Villa legend.
Yeah,
like it's not quite how it works.
Let's just believe that he didn't do it intentionally. He was advised poorly. Let's think that happened.
Like most footballers. Yeah. And obviously Ashley Young got the fourth goal.
So fourth goal, yeah. Martin O'Neill days, I mean, God, how far we've come on with the squad that we've got now. Do you know what I mean? Even that was our glorious.
Yeah, you're right. You're right in terms
of squad depth that we've got.
Yeah. But I feel like nowadays you have to. Like, as in back then.
Oh, yeah.
Back then you would there would have been like, I don't know, City would have been the only team that had this kind of squad depth, because it was 2010. I can't remember exactly when they went on their like big spending spree and they became massive. It's around, I know it's in Martin O'Neill years, right?
Yeah.
But like they would have been the only team, because I think if I remember rightly under O'Neill, I think we pretty much played like 14 players in a season. Like we very rarely played. He played with such a narrow squad, and he just played them into like week after week after week. But players like you talk about, like the starting 11 was absolutely brilliant, like back then.
But yeah, they were. Maybe we weren't playing as many games and they managed to stay fit. But we'd always go for that March period, wouldn't we, where we couldn't win a game. But we'd be brilliant for most of the year. But that March, we had 3 seasons where we didn't win a game in March, and that was that.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. That was. We just ran out of steam, didn't we?
Yeah, ran out of steam. It cost us big time, and again, this is the history, and this is where the nervousness about games like this weekend get to me, is because we've been so close on so many occasions when we haven't invested in the squad to go to that next level, and now I feel like we're almost there. Do you know what I mean? We're trying to do that, and we've got, the acquisitions of Rashford and Asensio in January has been massive for me. They're game-changing players.
Absolutely unbelievable. Like before Jan, like, there was our season was just gonna, other than the Champions League, our season was gonna peter out. It was we're really struggling, and then them two have come in, and my God, it's like complete game changer, like complete breath of fresh air for the whole team and the fan base. Everyone's now like looking positive, and we're not sitting there going, "Oh, we're so inconsistent. We're struggling here. We can't score goals. We're conceding loads of goals." We still have problems, but it's just nice. Even if I think we were getting similar results, we'd still be sitting there going, "But these two look like they're going to do something." Every time they're on the ball, and then obviously in 2015, West Brom. You baggies, Delph and Scott Sinclair in a 2-0 win.
Sinclair. Do you know what I remember about that game the most? It was the year they introduced the pink football. It was a pink Nike.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, absolutely stunning. I wanted it so badly. I had the original version. I got an obsession with footballs, mate. I just love them.
I think you've got a problem with obsessions, Gary. I think there's a few things where you just end up really obsessed.
Yeah,
with the fact about 4 PS5s and.
They're not all mine. Like, they're between the kids. That'd be obsessive if I've got 4 PS5s. Like, it's like one for each kid. Only because I don't want to pay on my network, mate. That's it. Like, just get away. Stop interfering.
Anyway, yeah, it'll affect your OnlyFans bandwidth, so it's fine.
Oh yes, sorry. I don't really like computer games, ladies. or lads, or lasses, or
anyway,
whatever you identify as. People, it's fine with me. I'm not discriminating towards anybody. You can all sign up to the OF.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter as long as you're paying. Right. Yeah. So quickly onto our predicted lineups then.
Yes.
Oh, Gary,
this is mine.
Take me through it.
But this has been my predicted lineup for the last 3 matches, mate, and I'm yet to see it. And I know this involves dropping McGinn, but I think Cash has had a good couple of weeks. He's played for Poland. I think he's probably back up to speed. I would love to see that back four. I think that would be our most considered back four of Digne, Mings, Konza, and Cash. I know we've got other players that can play in these positions with Disasi and Garcia, because he can play, can't he? He's eligible for the FA Cup. Kamara, obviously Rolls Royce. I'm hoping 2 weeks of training in the sun has done in the world of good. Tielemans, again, I think he's been our most consistent performer, which means McGinn takes a back seat for me at this point. Not that I want that, and I don't think Emery will. I think Emery will play McGinn because I don't think he'll play this front four of Rashford, Asensio, Rodgers and Watkins. I just think that is our most balanced team in terms of defensive wise and then attacking wise, because you've got Tielemans, who's someone who can absolutely feed the ball to Asensio, and the rest is magic between Rodgers and Rashford. I think they did okay for England the other night, and I think my only question will always be over whether Watkins can put the ball in the back of the net. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that I stand by that lineup. I haven't seen it yet, and I don't think we will see it. But I would love to see this in motion to see if it worked.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait.
Yeah, I mean, mine's very different. So
here we go.
I don't think he's going to go quite as heavy and strong to start. I think he will keep the bench strong, but I think he will have one eye on Tuesday as well, because that's such
Wednesday. It's been transferred to Wednesday, mate.
Has it been moved to fucking Wednesday? When that?
It was originally last week or the week before. It was originally Tuesday. I changed it because of the FA Cup tie, because that hadn't been established on it. So Sunday, Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday. Right, fine. But yeah, obviously Martinez. I think he'll go Mings, Konsa. I reckon he will go Matson on the left with Ramsey. I just feel like they need minutes. I think he'll want a bit of pace overlapping Ramsey on the left-hand side if he's going to play Marlon on the right. So I'm kind of like, I'm just desperate for him to play Marlon. I just want him to play Marlon. I feel like he'll probably play Bailey. He'll play Bailey. Like, he'll put him there. I actually completely forgot about John McGinn, which is really bad, because I was like, Kamara. And I was like, oh, Onana's fit, I think. So pop him in there. But actually, it's too defensive, to be honest. So it probably will be Tielemans or McGinn, I think.
We don't need two holding midfielders against.
No, we don't.
There's no way. No.
Look, I've got a really bad headache and I'm tired, and I put this together before this.
I understand your process, because this could be a game where Onana starts over Kamara because he hasn't had played many minutes.
So it could be. So it could be Onana and Tielemans or Onana and McGinn, and then I feel like Asensio has to be up there for me. Like, he's got to play, because, like you said, they are going to probably part the bus, and we're going to need, whether that is Asensio or Tielemans. Maybe he looks to bring Asensio on, because again, yes, okay, he's fit, but we don't. Fuck me, if he got injured, Jesus Christ, from like some terrible tackle or something from a Preston player.
Yeah.
So maybe he does look to limit his minutes a little bit there. And then obviously, Watkins up front, I guess, unless he decides to put Marlon up front, but I don't think he will.
I don't know what Marlon's got to do. I mean, this would be an ideal fixture for Marlon to play. He didn't come into my thinking, because I just don't think Emery's going to play him. But
he has to play. If he's not playing in this, then he's literally not playing, because he can't play in the Champions League. We're not in the League Cup, and he doesn't seem to fancy the Premier League. So he's literally not.
If he doesn't feature in this game, right, I've got to start asking the
He
question.
won't start if Rashford starts, because we can't have two wingers up there, right? So that's why my thinking is JJ on the left, because he'll not advance quite as much, and then you'll have Marlon on the right hand side. The other thing is Marlon does drift into the centre, so if he feels that we want to use width more, he probably won't play him. But if he wants us to go narrow, then he's a better option because he links up on the shoulder of defenders with Watkins, so Watkins gets more room.
Well, as I was saying, I think if he doesn't feature in this game,
you got to really question that signing.
Well, you've got to question it, absolutely, mate. Either something's gone on that we don't know about that's happened, as basically it's a mistake, and it's a shame because, like I said, I think I said in the last episode, like he's shown for me more than Bailey's offered all season. So I think he deserves this. So I'm interested to see what the lineup will be.
I do think he's been told just sit tight this season. I think hindsight, I think if we knew Rashford was available and we knew that was happening, we probably wouldn't have signed him.
Yeah.
I think we said this before, that because Rashford plays on the left, he's not going to have two wingers. So he's basically flipped the way that he has to play. So he's got an attacking left winger rather than an attacking right winger. It's meant Marlon just isn't getting minutes. But what doesn't make sense to me is when we're playing Bailey over him. I said, the only thing I can think of is that Marlon drifts centrally, and generally, if we're putting a right winger on, we're going to want to play wide. That's the only thing I'm thinking of.
I don't understand it because although Bailey's had a couple of moments, like in the game against Bruges where he scored early on, I think he's been
he has started to recently show some elements of that player we saw last season, but it's just not there, is it?
It's just been no consistency in that, mate, this year. He's been the shadow of the player, and I know he has snippets, but at this point in the season now, with how massive these games are, can't afford any passengers, mate. We need people performing at the highest level.
He's also got more transfer minutes because he can play in the Champions League, so he does get that time. I just really feel for Marlon. I just feel really bad for him because I think he looks a lively player. He looks like something that we haven't got. He looks like someone who's probably going to cause havoc and score goals. He had that goal disallowed against Wolves. He arguably probably would have played and started against Cardiff, but he was ill, so he's just not had the rub of the green, in my opinion. And actually, I remember when he came on against Chelsea, and he was so dangerous. He was he had 3 or 4 chances, and he was like that one right at the end. Bloody hell! What was that? Liverpool?
Yeah.
Was that Liverpool, Chelsea? Liverpool. That one at the end was Liverpool. The one where he put it narrowly wide.
Oh yeah.
But he did have stuff against Chelsea as well. I just kind of feel for him, if I'm honest. But hopefully he gets a game. But it's 68 years since we won the FA Cup.
And I'm sure all the blue noses out there will be reminded. Your history's so long ago. I mean, we've won it 7 times or something stupid like that. And I know none of it's in this century, but I've got a few ages to this.
Just sound that there's a guy at work. He probably won't be watching this, but if he is, I'll let a guy called Rich at work, and he always takes the piss because whenever I'll be speaking to some people at work, and then they'll go, "Oh, what's the stuff in the background?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Aston Villa stuff," and they're like, "Oh." They might not be into football, and they're like, "What's Aston Villa?" I'm like, and then Rich will go, "Oh, it's a team who were mildly successful about 100 years ago," and I'm like, it drives me, and he knows that it really gets me. It's the one thing I don't get bothered by stuff, but it's the one thing that he knows pushes my buttons, and when he starts doing that, I just start to get really angry and really pissed off.
Mate, I understand the frustration. I try not to bite to many Blue Nose stuff. They're all over the forums, kind of with their trip to Wembley and about. But they're obsessed with. I find Blues fans are much more obsessed with us than we are with them. I don't look backwards, and I don't look down.
He's a freaking Spurs fan, so they're even worse. I was like, mate, in what world were you ever successful? So
I'll just focus on what we're doing, mate. It's much more entertaining than speaking to people who are queuing outside their ticket shop to buy tickets which are only on sale online.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
anyway,
there you go. Anyway,
last thing is our predictions. So we probably should have done this at the start. Usually I do this at the start and then we reveal it at the end. But fuck it.
Well, we'll just reveal it now, mate. I'm going to write it down quickly. Here we go. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to say that.
Oh, Gary's gone for a big one.
I've gone for a big one, mate. I said to you, I
would
thoroughly expect us to win this game comfortably, regardless of what team we put out, regardless of the personnel that play. We should win this game comfortably. And I want us just to, whoever plays, to go out there and put a statement performance in to say we mean business. Do you know what I mean? Right? We're not just here on just to turn up and make numbers. We're here because we know, we feel confident that we're going to go on and win something this year, whether it be the FA Cup, the Champions League, and finish in those European places. Do you know what I mean? It's in our hands. I've said this for the last 2 weeks. It is in our hands to do this. Like, we've got to play all those teams around us. It's massive, I know, but come on. If this doesn't galvanise you to get out of bed and run and bust your nuts off, mate, come on.
You know what? No, I'm not going to say it because it'll tempt fate.
No, don't say it.
But what's your hot take, Gaz?
My hot take is going to be whether he plays or starts or not, is Asensio coming on and changing that game again, because I don't care. Even if he plans on, he's enough to destroy a championship side. Mate, they're not going to be able to live with his movement. They're not going to be able to live with his vision and shooting accuracy. So I expect him to come, if he doesn't start, to come on and just turn the game on its head, and everyone's going to go, and we're all going to get into that. And I'll check out TikTok for that one. We won't go down it again. So yeah. So
go on.
I got a question for you, just as a hot thing. How many teams in the quarter-final draw, right, are in the top 6 of the Premier League without looking it up?
Oh shit! Oh crap! Is it? There's Arsenal, isn't there?
Yeah,
Arsenal's in it. It says win in the top what?
In the top 6.
Top 6. There's Forest, Arsenal, Brighton aren't in the top 6. City are still in it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's then 3, right?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, 3. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's not like a traditional 3. Well, I mean, no. Arsenal City, yeah, but mate, honestly, Forest Villa final, I'll absolutely kill myself. I couldn't face it because I know we'd fucking bottle it and it would just be the worst thing in the world for me. But anyway, yes. What was I going to say? Shit. Oh, balls. Doesn't matter. Anyway.
Okay, one last question. How many of the teams in the last 8, right, have never lifted the FA Cup?
Oh. Brighton?
Yeah, Brighton's one.
Oh, Preston. What? They've won it?
Preston have won it.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. So Brighton won it. Brighton haven't won it. Who else is in the... Forest have definitely won it, surely. Forest have won it. City have won it.
Villa have won it. Arsenal have won it. So
yeah,
there's your...
I can't remember who the hell's there.
Process of elimination. You don't have to give me the teams, just how many things. So if you've got 8 teams, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
You've got a headache, mate. You need some paracetamol. It's fine. Don't worry.
I feel terrible. Anyway, on that bombshell. It is. Okay, great. Brilliant. Well, anyway, on that, that'll probably do us. As always, we forgot to say this at the start, but if you loved it, subscribe. Our subscribers have gone berserk in the last week.
We are so close to getting to 1,000 subscribers, mate.
1,000 subs.
68 we need. Come on, 68 more people to like us, subscribe to us.
Hit that sub. Tell everyone. Create new accounts and then sub. So just create lots of accounts and sub. Create 60 accounts.
Help us get monetized, people. We want to do this.
If you've got more than one account on YouTube, I've got like 3. If you've got more than one account on YouTube, subscribe on all 3.
Yeah, I love
all
that.
of them. Anyway, and comment, like, all that malarkey. Until next time. I think next time we're going to be here probably Monday. I think
for the review of this. And hopefully we'll be singing on how Gaz has got the prediction right. 4-0, cruising into the semi-finals.
I was going to say, my hot take, a defender to score.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
I'd like a defender to score. It's about time someone scored a fucking header. Like, any defender would score. When the last time we saw a defender score a header?
Well, I still, like, when you say that stat to me that we've scored the most goals from set pieces, right?
Yeah, bonkers. It doesn't make sense, does it?
Well, again, let's break that down. How many headers have we scored from set pieces? Because I can't remember one.
No.
So people, like, in the comments, let me know what we're missing out.
Probably scored a header. It was probably Emi Buendia. Because the guy rose like a salmon.
Rising like a salmon. Bless him.
Anyway,
rest in peace.
Sing us out, Gaz.
Every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. Peace and love.